Welcome back to Redbeard EDC Reviews. Thanks for tuning in. Today I want to talk about budget knives. In particular, the Ganzo G6252. Somebody asked me a few days ago, what do I consider to be a budget knife? So my response was anything under R1,000, or anything under, I think with the exchange rate, it should be around $60 or $70. So yeah, it's something that you don't pay too much for. It's quite affordable, and if it falls, scratches, if it might get a chip or anything like that, you're not going to be too broken about it. You're gonna go on with your life. So what I've got, this is one of my EDC knives in rotation. It's the Honey Badger Flipper. This is a large model. They cost around 500 to 600 Rand depending on where you buy. It's the HCR13 MOV model. You also get these in D2. They're a little bit more expensive, and then yeah, they only use the HCR13 and D2 steel, and then you've got different color scales that you can put on the knives. Very nice knife. It runs on ball bearings on the pivot, and it's quite smooth, and yeah, it's got a nice fit in the hand, nice grip. But this is not the knife I want to talk about. I want to talk about the Ganzo G6252. So firstly, I want to thank Henry Bierman from Torch SA for sending me this knife. I carried it now every day for about 2.5 weeks, and did some testing on it. I tortured it a bit. I've got footage of the torture test. I'll just post that in as well. And yeah, it's the knife held up. The edge didn't get any chips. The tip didn't bend or break or anything. So yeah, let's talk about the knife. So firstly, the handle is made of fiberglass. It's got a nice texture to it. When this knife is wet or your hands are wet, it doesn't slip. It's got quite a nice grip. It doesn't have any jimping on the spine, so I like to hold my knives with my thumb on the spine. Just feels like I've got better control. So there's nothing that provides a little bit of extra grip, but that's fine. You've got your sharpening choil, and yeah, the blade steel. The blade is stamped 440, and on the website it's listed as 4116. So a research I've done says that they're quite similar. They're high corrosion resistant. It's quite a soft steel, so it might get blunt easily, but it sharpens very easily. It took me about half an hour to 45 minutes the other night, and I've got this thing to hair shaving sharp. You'll see right there's a bald spot where I shaved it, and yeah, it's a nice knife. It handles nicely. The overall length is 210 millimeters. The blade comes in at 89 millimeters and 3.3 mils thick on the spine. So it's thicker than this. This is about 3 mils thick. So from the factory, it comes with a 25-degree angle on the edge. I don't know why, but I like a 20-degree angle. It just feels a little bit closer to that razor edge. And so yeah, I think that is a big reason why it didn't shave hair so easily out of the box. It comes in 3 colors. You get black, OD green, and orange. The orange looks quite nice. And the pocket clip is unfortunately only one position that you can put it, and that's where it comes. So it's not ambidextrous. You can't put the pocket clip on that side, so it goes into your pocket that way. and that's the way it's going to stay. So if you left-handed, you take the knife out, the blade is going to be on the wrong side, unfortunately. So that's one of the down points, but you can learn to live with it. Learn to use your right hand. It doesn't come with a lanyard hole, so you won't be able to, if you like sprucing up your knives with lanyards and so on, then unfortunately you won't be able to do it with this one. But there's a good reason for that. So if I close the blade, you can see it right at the end there of the handle or of the grip. So if you put a lanyard hole in and you put a lanyard in, you will cut your lanyard off quite soon. In the beginning, I said I don't like thumb studs. Still don't really, because of bad experience with one of my other knives, which I had completely removed the thumb studs because it was starting to wear out my pants pocket material. But on this one, the grip actually stands out further than the thumb studs. So the thumb stud's not pressing up against your pants material, so it doesn't push a hole through later on or anything like that. So that is actually a win for this knife. The pivot is a T10 Torx screw and the body screws are T6. The whole construction of the knife is made of stainless steel. It's only the handle scales that are fiberglass. And with this, you get a 1-year warranty. So obviously, don't go and pry open paint cans and so on. You're going to void your warranty. But if I would assume if you're busy cutting something and the blade chips, then obviously you've got good reason to return the knife. But they will still investigate and make sure you didn't abuse it. So any abuse on a knife will void your warranty. So what are the bad things about this knife? Because it is a softer steel, it comes in at, or it's rated at 56 HRC on the Rockwell scale, where your ATR 13 comes in at about 58 to 60. So it's a little bit softer, so it doesn't hold its edge quite as good, but it sharpens easier. So if you take this thing, you use it, you're not going to feel bad about it. You use it, it gets blunt, you take your sharpening system or sharpening stone and you go to town with it. Half an hour later, you've got a sharp knife again. So yeah, you're gonna wear through the blade eventually, but it's gonna take years. It's gonna take very long to wear through this blade. And also, with it being 440 or 4116, it's got better corrosion resistance than the HCR 13 steel or D2 steel. But that's got to do with the blade composition, it's got to do with the steel composition. I don't know anything about science. I don't know much about steels, so don't ask me about that. Or what it's got more of than the ATR 13 or what it's got less of. It's probably got less carbon. Carbon is not as corrosion resistant, so it might have less carbon than the others. I don't know. I'm telling you the truth. I'm spitballing here when I say that it's probably got less carbon, but I really don't know steel compositions. That's a whole different type of research that has to be done. So later on, obviously, I would like to reprofile this edge to about 20 degrees just for my preference. See if I can get a better shaving edge with that. Although I don't use my knives to shave with, but if it shaves air and it cuts newspaper and normal paper quite easily, then you know it's sharp. So yeah, so I'm gonna run the torture test I did with it now. What I basically did was I took the knife front-handed motion, stab 5 times into a piece of wood, then turn it around, backhanded motion, also 5 stabs, and then I just cut into it 5 times just to make it dull, because I want to test how easily you can put an edge on this. So unfortunately I don't have footage of me sharpening the knife, but I spent about 30 to 45 minutes on it one evening, sharpened it and got it to shave there. So yeah, I'm gonna do a sharpness test of this Ganzo. So I've had this knife for about a week and used it daily. So the stiffness that I had, it's not that bad anymore. So it's like it loosened up a little bit with more use. So you can see I can flick it with my thumb open. I can do a failed spidey flick. There's a spidey flick. So, and that's another fail. Just a flick of the wrist and it goes open. So I've got here a piece of newspaper. So I'm going to cut into this, and I've got a normal piece of white printing paper. So let's test it. You see there, it folds, the paper folds a bit. So obviously a few days use, it has gone blunt. Let's see what it does to the normal printing paper. Ooh, that's a nice cut. So the harder the paper, the easier it cuts. Okay, so I'm gonna go torture this one quickly, and let's see how that edge holds up. Okay, so I've got this piece of wood that's just lying outside. I'm gonna stab a few times into it with a Ganzo, and I'm gonna drag the edge over it a few times. Now obviously this isn't a normal test that you would use to test a knife. I want to try and make this thing blunt to see what the edge retention is like, and also to test the steel, that it's not just gonna break. So I'm gonna stab it a few times with forward motion and with a backhand motion, and then just drag the edge over it. Okay, so that's 5 cuts. Let's go do the paper test again. Alright, after the 10 stabs into the wooden log and dragging the edge over the log, just a bit dirty. There's no play in between the blade and the handles. So I'm gonna use the same newspaper. You can see it's been cut, just a different side. Let's see. Okay, it doesn't cut into the newspaper, so obviously the log has taken a toll on it. Same normal white printing paper. Okay, so it tears it, doesn't cut into it. There's a slight cut. Let's try a different side. Okay, so it is still sharpish. Obviously, you're not gonna cut a wooden log, or you're going to cut on wood with your knife. The sole purpose of that was I wanted to make it blunt, to test the edge retention a bit, and I want to sharpen it, see how easily it takes the edge. Show you guys how easy or difficult this particular knife will make your life when sharpening it, how long it keeps its edge, and so on. Overall, I can suggest this knife at coming in at, let's say, 250 Rand or $17. You're gonna buy this, you're gonna put it in your pocket, you're gonna carry your second knife as well, your nicer one, because 2 is 1 and 1 is none. You're gonna carry this knife and you're gonna use it. You're gonna spare your nice knife, you're gonna use this one without feeling bad. That is what a budget knife is all about. Taking it out, using it, putting it back in your pocket. If something happens to it, buy another one. So once again, I want to thank Henry Bierman for sending me this knife and making it possible for me to make this video for you guys and bringing the information to you. So obviously Torch SA, I don't know, I suspect they don't do overseas sales. They sell in South Africa, but you can get Ganzo obviously in America. I've seen on some American forums and so on, the guys use these. Obviously they use more expensive Ganzo models, but they can't stop talking about how nice such an affordable knife is. So I can definitely recommend this as a beater knife. Don't go buy it and expect it to outperform your 2,500 Rand or 3,000 Rand knife. This is, you can buy 10 of these for one of that. So definitely go out, get yourself one like this, use it, abuse it, don't feel bad about it. If it breaks, buy a second one, you still got your nice knife. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I will be doing a review next week on the PowerTac M6 flashlight. It's such an awesome flashlight. But stay tuned, I'll bring you that review. And yeah, remember, your safety is your own responsibility. Thanks guys, cheers, have a good one.